had the time is go around to every vehicle that we see in this area and check their tyre pressures and see what they are, if they're correct for their vehicle. So in fact, we did this in the Netherlands, didn't we? We had a major corporation where they have a very large fleet, and 97% of the vehicles had the wrong tyre pressures. Can you imagine that? And how much, what's the difference, John, if you don't have your tyres at the right pressure?
For every 1 PSI your tyres are inflated? Say, what do you think?
No, I'm not driving, so
no,
I don't have
but
knowledge.
what percentage do you think you waste by having your tyres underinflated?
40%.
40%, not quite. You're not going to win the prize today, but for every 1 PSI, every pound per square inch your tyres are underinflated, you're wasting up to 3% of your fuel efficiency. So imagine in the Netherlands, where we tested, 97% of the audience had the wrong tyre pressures in their car. Before they even start the engine, 97% of the Netherlands have wasted 3% of their fuel efficiency. When we go to our Shell station, we spend 2 minutes testing the tyre pressures, making sure that they're the right poundage. Helen, how do we know what poundage they should be at, and where do we find that?
Ask me. No. In your handbook, so your manufacturer's handbook, or inside the driver's door, you should be able to see, get the advice. I think sometimes as well they have it on the tyres, depending on what tyres you buy. Now, another thing that we always do, and just think about it, these are tips that we're giving you before you even start your car. So before you even drive, the things that you can do to prepare to save fuel.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very hot day today, so can we just get you to come forward into the shade if we can, just over here, just come over into the shade. We don't want anybody dehydrating here today as well. It's also very important to stay hydrated. Now you can see under the hood, there are things you can also do before you actually start driving your car. And I don't know where the dipstick is on this car, ma'am. Do you actually know where the dipstick is? How I can check my oil? Yeah, could you come and show us, please? Right, and what do we do with that?
Pull it out.
Yeah, pull it out.
Wipe it off.
Can you give us a quick demonstration? That'd be great. Thank you very much. There you go, ma'am. Yeah. This is something that we'd like to see as part of the driving test. You know, where you get a basic knowledge of what's under the hood. And what are we looking for here, do you think?
I think it has to be in here.
So we're looking.
The oil line.
We're looking at the lines now, and you're seeing it's up to that area there. So that's fine. That's within the recommended part. But the reality is this: is that check this once a week, and then when it tells you to go and get your car serviced, make sure that you get your car serviced. Just one quick question before you put that back in. Now let's assume that there's not enough oil in there. How on earth do I get all that oil into a little hole that small?
No, there. Yeah, that's it.
I'll tell you what, you've just passed, and you're now on our team for the rest of the trip to come and join us. Absolutely magnificent. Very, very well done. What's your name?
Tara.
Tara? Brilliant. Now, we're also under the hood, you're looking at your water levels, and lots of other things as well. But when it tells you to get your car serviced, if it tells you 10,000, make sure you get it done at 10,000. Why is that, Helen?
Because you want your car to run at its optimum efficiency, and if you let it go, it won't. Sometimes we think we're saving money by putting it off, and we're all guilty of that. We have some bills that come in that we have to pay. We think, oh damn, I won't get it done this month. I'll wait till next month, and that might not come. And in the meantime, you're using more fuel because your engine's not running efficiently, and also your maintenance bill will increase because your things aren't going quite right because it's not looked after. But in between servicing, we always do a spot check as well. So once your car's serviced, don't think that's it, you never have to worry about it again. We always have a look, and it might only take you 1 minute. Just do a spot check, make sure there's no fluid leaks under the hood, under the car, And if there is, then do something about it. Another tip, and I know John's trying to get the microphone back. What I have here is a logbook. And what this logbook does is it encourages you to drive as many kilometres as you can on a tank of fuel. So we want people to record when they fill up at the gas station. We want them to zero their trip meter, write down how many kilometres they drive, and then use some of the tips and try and go a little bit further. But the other thing that this does, by this record, is it puts up a flag that if something's wrong with your vehicle. So if all of a sudden you get inconsistencies, you think, okay, well something's wrong, I need to go and get this looked at. So a great tool to have.
Now currently, Helen and I are fortunate enough to be on a coast-to-coast from Halifax to Vancouver with the Shell team, the Shell Smarter Driver team. And we have one of the best journalists in the country in Lorraine. Lorraine, please come and join us for a minute, please. Now Lorraine's actually driven quite a few of these legs, and let us tell you something, this lady here will be joining our driving team any day, because she's doing extremely well. The things that you've learned on the trip so far, because we've actually done the end part of mapping, and that is smarter maintenance. The actions behind the wheel, what would you do, or what would you recommend to everybody else here today about smarter driving behind the wheel?
Actually, smooth driving is smart driving, and smooth driving is safe driving. I drive as if I've got a bucket of water in the trunk. Some people say a wedding cake on the back seat. You don't want to spill that going around corners. The smoother you drive, the more fuel you're going to save, and actually the people in your car with you will thank you because you don't spill their Hortons everywhere. But smooth wins. Race car drivers, the smooth guys win, not the fast guys, and they'll tell you that themselves. So actually, of all the tips, and they all work and you need them all, that I would say applies to everything, and if you do that, it'll bring all the other tips along with you, so you don't even have to remember that much except for that.
That's a great tip, fantastic. Cameron, please come and join us as well. Give us your number one tip from what you've learned on this drive so far.
The number one thing I've learned on the drive?
Yeah.
Okay, the number one thing I've learned on the drive is to listen to John and Helen Taylor, because they're brilliant and very, very fuel efficient. But I'd actually say just staying calm, cool, collected, like Lorraine was saying, just driving smoothly, because you're going to save a lot of fuel, being conscious of, you know, where your momentum is and how you can keep the car running at an optimal capacity.
Now you were in the car with myself when we were coming into Montreal, and it was rush hour traffic, and it was bumper to bumper, and we saw people so stressed out, and you sat there, and you were so calm and so relaxed, and you left probably a 30-metre gap between yourself and the car in front, and you backed off the gas pedal and the brake pedal, and you cruised along, and you didn't even touch the brakes most of the time, and you were saving a tremendous amount of fuel there, but you did it in a calm fashion. So I think there's a lot to be said for driving calm. Thank you very much, Cameron, for that as well.